Hey everyone, so Theo's asleep, so I thought I'd quickly come on and do a video. Fingers crossed he doesn't wake up, so we'll see how this goes. Um, but I wanted to do a video about dummy clips. Now, we don't use dummies, not because we're against dummies or anything like that. Um, we're not too keen on them, but trust me, if Theo would have taken the dummy, especially in those early days, I would have given him a dummy, but he only took the dummy for like maybe a day, and then since then he's had no interest, and we've tried and tried, like especially with the teething stage, we've tried to shove the dummy in so much and he's just not interested at all. Excuse all my washing in the back. But yeah, so we were very lucky that we got given loads of gifts. And one of our friends actually bought us a dummy clip. Now, this video is not to upset anyone, it's not to shame anyone for using dummy clips, it's just simply just to make people aware of how dangerous some things can be. And yeah, if you use one, it's like totally your decision. I just want to bring awareness to safety elements in some dummy clips. So our friend bought us this really nice, I'm guessing it was made by a small business dummy clip. It had wooden beads on it that said baby, had a plastic bead on that had like a little rose or a little flower, and it had like the clip bit that said his name on, which had engraved his name on. So I'm 100% guessing it was bought from an independent business, probably off Etsy or Facebook or something like that. I haven't asked the person where it was purchased from, but I'm guessing it was bought from one of those places because it was personalised and because of how it was looked. Now, obviously, because we don't use dummies, we had no need for the dummy clip whatsoever. I've tied it in a little bag, so I'm just going to open the bag. We had no use for the dummy clip whatsoever. And then after I did my video about when we went on holiday and the fact that we tied his penguin to my necklace and we also tied it to the seat belt, I thought, actually, hang on, this is a really genius idea to make use of the beautiful dummy clip to tie it to one of his toys. And yesterday I put on him, so he put on his rain suit that you've probably all seen, his little frog rain suit that I put him in. And he had his penguin and it's got a hole in it, and I was like, let me tie it to his dummy clip and then let me attach the dummy clip on him so then he can use it, and instead of chucking it about the car or wherever, it's just attached to him, do you know? So if he wants it and he drops it, he can pick it back up without mummy picking it up constantly. So we drove to Baby Group yesterday, so I think I live about 10-minute drive from Baby Group. So in the in my car I have one of those mirrors where you can watch the baby, so I'm looking in the mirror in the car to see how he is, and he's chewing away, he's chewing this penguin all the way, and he's proper enjoying life, like keeps dropping it, picking it back up. Then he starts chewing a bit of the wood, and I think to myself, hang on a minute, I don't feel comfortable with this, because nowhere on my route to Baby Group is there really a safe place to just stop. So if, God forbid, like he chokes on one of those beads, I can't stop to get out the car quick enough to go and tend to him if he's choking. Um, so then that fear started going through my head, and I was like, Jesus, what would I do if that happened? I didn't check the dummy clip, and I was like, oh, I didn't check it. I knew it was bought from a small business. I didn't check to see the safety. I didn't check to see how it was knotted. I just literally attached it to him and walked out the door. And in hindsight, I probably should have checked anyway. Um, so anyway, we got to Baby Group, and I went to one of the mothers in Baby Group. I said, oh, I don't know if this is safe. Or something in my head's telling me it's not safe. And I explained the feeling that I had in the car. And they said, look, if you don't feel it's safe, don't use it. And I was like, yeah, you're right, I'm not going to. And I think one of the mums said that she had read somewhere that anything like beads, they have to be like tied after each bead, so like a knot after each bead. So if it does come apart, they all don't come off and only one comes off. But I'm sure I've read that somewhere as well. But I don't want to quote anything on that's what it's supposed to be. Um, I would do your own research into anything you're buying that has bits and small parts on, especially if it's going on a baby, like just to be safe. Anyway, so I wasn't comfortable with it. Let me just check the baby whilst we're on the subject. Yeah, back again. Still Sparko. Yeah, so I didn't check the thing before I gave it to him, and then I was concerned, and I thought actually it's really not safe for me giving this to the baby. I don't feel comfortable with it personally, so I took it off Theo. We was at playgroup anyway, so we had loads of other toys to play with. Whilst the women, so there's volunteers at our playgroup that talk, so whilst they were doing their talk, I was just sitting here fiddling um with the clip, and literally like less than 3 minutes after me asking all the other mums if it was safe and blah blah, the whole thing came apart. I literally came apart in my hand. So this little bit of string that it was attached to, this all came off, and this is the only knot that was on the whole thing. I don't know if you can see it. Where's my camera? Here. So this knot was the only knot that was on this whole piece of string. This string is not even it's just normal string. The beads that they were little wooden beads, and then this is the little clip part that says Theodore's name. And even this is quite sharp, so it's not very safe. Basically everything all fell off, everything fell apart, and yeah, and I'm glad that it happened whilst I was holding it. Like literally it just came apart in my hand, because imagine if that had happened whilst he was in the back of the car and one of these beads maybe had gone in his mouth, or he'd picked one up from his car seat and stuck it in, or I hadn't found all the beads after. Like there's so many things that could have gone wrong, so I'm glad that it happened to me. So yeah, I just want to do a video to raise awareness, because I don't know how many people would think about it, because I didn't give it a second thought until I was in the car. And nowadays there are so many YouTube videos, there are so many Facebook businesses. Like if you're a Facebook business that sells these, like I'm not doing this to shame anyone, I'm not doing this to upset anyone, like they're really easy to make. It's literally just beads and a clip. So there's obviously a lot of people that make them, because all they need to do is order some beads and some rope and some clips, and they can do them at home. And I personally have seen loads of businesses pop up on my Facebook of people selling teething necklaces and pram beaded things like this, and why do I keep saying pram? Buggy clips and dummy clips and things like this. So I just think, just do your research on them first. I did do a tiny bit of research last night, very, very little bit of research, because of course, like, I've got a baby and baby was crying, so I didn't have time to look into it a lot, and I don't want to give anybody wrong advice, so I don't want anyone to come back and say, Jade, you said this on your video and it's not correct. But do your research in it. But after a quick Google search yesterday, it's actually illegal to sell anything like this that hasn't been tested. So all these little businesses that make these clips just from their home, like I get it. I don't want to go back to work full time, so I get it. I want to do something that I can work from home, that I can earn some extra pennies for the baby. Statutory maternity pay is really no joke. Like if you've never had a kid before, like look into how much statutory maternity pay is. It is absolutely shocking. So of course, as mums or even stay-at-home dads, we're looking for something that can earn us a little bit of cash without having to take that time away from our babies. But this is literally playing with people's with children's lives and things. So I personally think that they should all be externally tested first, and yeah, just do your research for them first. I'm not trying to scare anyone, but if you do have one of these for your child, maybe just take a second look at it, make sure it's safe. And if you're comfortable with using it, then each to their own. There's no judgment here at all. I'm not here to judge anyone. I just wish that I'd looked into it a little bit more before I used it, but thank God nothing bad happened, and thank God it just broke with me, because it could have been so much worse. So yeah, that's my little video of today. It's my birthday today as well, so I'm gonna have a cocktail. I'm gonna treat myself to a cocktail in a minute. But if you've got any questions or anything that you want me to do a video on, leave me in the comments. I will be doing videos on pretty much everything, teething, my food journey. I'm gonna start weaning in 2 weeks' time, so, or even a week and something's time. So I'm gonna start the weaning journey. So yeah, follow me along to find out what we do with that. But yeah, I'm gonna be talking about breastfeeding, formula feeding, the recovery after my C-section, how I felt, basically just being a new mum, things that have helped us, things that we've learned along the way, products that we love. We went to a baby fair today in Bournemouth that was really, really good. We got given some great stuff, so I'll be doing a little bit about all the classes we've been attending and what we've been learning and places we've been. So hopefully that it will inspire you guys to try some of them too. But yeah, if you've got any questions, pop them down below. If not, have a fabulous evening, day, whatever the time it is. Fabulous day to you all. Speak to you later. Bye.